Okay, now let's try to understand the elements of information security. There are five elements of information security: availability, integrity, authenticity, confidentiality, and non-reputations. So let's try to understand them one by one. So, what is availability? As the name suggests, availability specifies whether the data or resource is available when it is required or requested by the client. The information that has been requested will possess the actual value only when the legitimate user can take access to those resources at the right time. But what cyber criminal does is they seize those data so that the request to access those resources gets denied. So which is a kind of convictional attack. So this is what availability is. Now coming to integrity, now, integrity is a technique to ensure that all the data or resources that can be accessed in real time are legitimate, correct, and protected by unlawful users. We can say hackers, because a lot of modification of data takes place in today's world. So, data integrity has become a primary and essential component or elements of information security because a user have to trust online information to use them. We tend to do online shopping, and then we buy so many of things. We use Facebook, we use social media, we even use cloud to keep all the information. So that's basically what that is, a trust. Okay, because we are storing so many of confidential data in a cloud or in a in a network. Okay, so non-trusted data compromises the integrity and hence will violate one of the five elements. Okay, so data integrity is verified through a technique like checksum, change in hash value, and data comparison. Okay, now let me give you an example. Now, every time when you download any kind of file from the internet, it has got a checksum value. Okay? So what you can do is you can cross verify that checksum value just to know whether the data or or anything which you are downloading from the internet is legitimate or not, or any kind of tampering has been done or not. So make sure that whatever you're downloading from any kind of unknown sources, okay, then you just cross verify whether the data has been tampered or not. Okay, so that's the best method. I mean, that's a best method to keep your computer safe. We never know, sometimes they can be a backdoor, so it's always safe to cross check if you're downloading it from any unknown resources or unknown sources. So now we are coming to authenticity. Authenticity is another essential element. Now this is also a very important element. uh, it can be defined as the process of ensuring and confirming that the identity of the user is genuine and legitimate. So this process of authentication takes place when the user tries to gain access to any data or information. So cyber criminals nowadays use more sophisticated tools and techniques to gain such access with the use of social engineering, password guessing, brute force techniques, or cracking ciphers. Now, see, let's take an example that I have a Facebook account, right? I have a Facebook account, but I want to use of different user. So now, if I have a valid username and password, Facebook will authenticate me that this is a valid user. Okay. Now, what if I don't have? So at that point of time, what the attacker does is attacker use so many kind of different techniques. They use different techniques to compromise the compromise username and password and finally crack it. Okay, so that is what authenticity is. Authenticity means the quality of being genuine. That means you are a genuine user. So now confidentiality. So confidentiality can be defined as permitting approved user for accessing to all sensitive as well as protected information. Now, confidentiality takes care of the fact that confidential information and other resources have to be revealed to legitimate and authorized user only. So confidentiality can be made certain by the use of role-based security technique for ensuring user or viewer's authorization as well as access control or any particular data. Now let's take an example. Now let's take that I have a bank account, right? So you know the bank account number of mine. So you go to the bank and you say that this is the bank account number and I want all the transaction details of this particular bank account number. So will the bank will give you the all the information? Of course no, because they also use, I mean, they also follow the elements of information security, and one of them is confidentiality. So they are not allowed to reveal, you know, the information of a customer. Okay. Now next is non-repudiation. Now, non-repudiation can be defined as the way of assurance that messages transmitted among two or more users via digital signature or through the use of encryption is accurate. And no one can deny that authentication of digital signature on any document, authenticate data as well as its origination. It can be acquired with the help of data hash. Now, even I'll give you one example for this. Okay, let's take an example. I want to change my registered mobile number of a bank. So one day I wrote a very fine email stating that I want to change the number. I want to change the registered mobile number. So I sent this to the bank, okay, and then bank finally changed my number. So tomorrow uh, I go to the bank and then say that I have never said you to change my number. So what bank will do? Bank will take out that email and then the bank will show it to you, stating that there is a message which has been dropped by you. There is an email which has been dropped by you stating to change the number, right? So this is what this is non-repudiation. Even this receiver or the sender cannot deny that this email or this information has been sent. So this is non-repudiation. So these are the five elements of information security: availability, integrity, authenticity, confidentiality, and non-repudiation.